Hello, Sagittarius. This is your reading for the week of January 19th, 2026. And of course, it won't be for every Sagittarian. And it could also be for Sagittarian rising, moon, Venus, strong placement somewhere. But this is what's important, is that Spirit was showing me something quite specific. And it was a statement from Julian of Norwich, who was a Christian mystic back in the 1300s. And the phrase was said to her from God in relation to her questioning how everything could be all right with the level of destruction and sin that was going on around her. Kind of like we're experiencing now. And it was, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well, as you trust in God, right? So what is that? How do we translate that into our language today, to the average person? Well, Julian of Norwich was in emotional pain because of the world around her. And many of us are also experiencing emotional distress and pain. Sometimes it's just because we're looking at the world outside, but a lot of times what's happening now is it's happening within our personal relationships. And the reason it's happening in our personal relationships is because now we're at a point in our world development and consciousness evolution where the point is the higher self is meant to be infused more completely through the personality. And that's actually been happening as we grow. And it's been happening gradually over time. And now we're at a point where it's escalated. So what's happening is many of those of us who have experienced connections to people based on our wounds, which is really what happens, we will only attract what we are resonating with, right? So it can be trauma bonds, many different names for these kinds of connections. But ultimately, when we come together in a connection that is super challenging, that has created a lot of pain, where we are the caretakers, where we have the doership for the entire relationship or for a bulk of a relationship, and we're staying in it to try to fix it, it's because we are in that kind of trauma bond. Now, what does that mean? That means karmically, we've come together with somebody who is giving us the opportunity to let go of this belief that A, we can fix it, and B, we're supposed to. That's why trauma bonds typically don't work, because if you would come together in a trauma bond and you are the caretaker, you are the doer, and now it's up to you to fix this situation and you can fix it, you don't get to ever learn. Then that's not your responsibility. You just keep going on doing that. Now that person might get all better and then leave. You'll find another one. So this is your opportunity, my very, very dear, loving, capable Sagittarians. This is where you get to decide. Do you want to stay in that questioning of why you experience the pain? Do you want to stay in the questioning and the going over again and again and again what the situation is? Or can you trust that God is head over heels in love with you? That everything, that all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Can you, this is super important, Sagittarius, can you create a structure for yourself that keeps reinforcing that reality? So that every time you have a tendency to want to go back and ask the same questions and play out the same what ifs and play out the same scenarios and try to project what the future might be, if you're still stuck and trying to figure out how to fix something, can you, in that moment, allow yourself to step back and say, being in this pain is not in alignment with my higher conscious self? Do I want to be in this pain anymore? When you want to go back into it, stop. Is that where you want your head to be? No. You're only in there because you're trying to get out of the pain, and you figure if you can fix it in at whatever point you're at, that you're going to be free of it. But it doesn't work that way. what happens is when you choose not to try to fix it, when you step out, when you can structure your day so that you are reminding yourself you have divine help. And by focusing your attention on the divine help and your higher conscious mind and your divine beingness, and even their divine beingness, this is where you now get to clear out what your wounds are, so you don't have to keep attracting similar people or similar situations to wake you up and go, oh, right, I don't have to do that anymore. That's the old disempowered story where I was paddling like a duck underwater trying to keep things going. And now I can just float down the river if I want. Okay? Sagittarius, this is great. This is absolutely perfect. We are all now at a point where we're being given the opportunity to look at our personality wounds and decide, do we want to invest more energy in the reality of those wounds and the people who helped perpetuate them for us? Or do we want to step aside? And I just have to say this, it's coming up frequently, but it's really coming in now. And that is, please remember, it starts with a choice. I know that it can feel really almost impossible sometimes to get out of those thoughts and to get out of that way of thinking and to get out of that way of being. Something came in and it slipped by me. When you can allow yourself to realize you have a choice by structuring, thank you so much. It all starts with the choice. The choice is the thing that starts it. And once you make that choice, you don't have to wait to make the choice before you know how it's going to happen. What you do is you make the choice, and then the universe says, this one's getting online with the program. Let's help them out. Okay? So as part of that, give yourself some kind of anchor points. Now, what I'm hearing right now is something I have used before, sometimes, but they're here saying it specifically for you right now. Write yourself notes and create a statement that anchors you into this new way of being and into this new truth. And it might be a mantra, like if this resonated with you and that statement from Julian of Norwich worked for you, use that, put it up, put it everywhere you want to be. Use something to constantly remind you that that's one reality and this is the other, and that this is the one you want to be in. Okay? I know that sounds quite simple, and in fact it is. It is simple. It's just not necessarily easy. So Sag, I first all want you to please be gentle with you for whatever happened. Because whatever happened had to happen as a part of the learning process. That's just the reality of how the energy works here. Now it's your turn to say, okay, I've learned, and now when I actually fall out of my structured free flow, when I go into the painful memories and I start doing that again, catch myself, make a new choice. You just keep making new choices. Keep making new choices. Keep making new choices. Every time you make a choice, your nervous system hears it, your higher conscious mind hears it, and the universe hears it. So who are you calling to, Sag? Who are you resonating with? Okay? You've got it. You've got it all. Just think of all the energy, all the time, all the love that you have put into something that is no longer working. Guess what? That's all liberated now. You have the same capacity for all of that. Now it's liberated from something that was creating conflict and keeping you in resistance and out of flow. Now you're taking it back and you're putting it back into flow. That's a beautiful thing, Sag. And that's how I'd like you to see it. Okay? Take care, my dears. Much love.